Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, what's up, y'all? It's Jason Wixp, here with another video. This is actually a completely random video. Right now it's about 1 a.m. Here in Texas. We just, as I'm recording this, just got done watching that Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano MMA fight. And obviously, elephant in the room, 17-second fight. Ronda Rousey, armbar. Pretty straightforward. Ronda Rousey and her explosiveness. Cool. This actually isn't about that whatsoever. This is actually more of a personal style, like brain dump, just what was on my mind. Because, a sign like this, fighting, martial arts, all that kind of stuff, I have such a deep connection to. I've been out of it for so long. If you, are following me, coming from my Instagram page, I'd say TikTok, but dude, I've been so inconsistent with uploading TikTok videos there. You would know, like, a little bit about my past and why I am where I am now. Why I'm so behind, in my opinion, of like where I would like to be in life as a fighter, as a creator, as an entrepreneur. But I'm really just setting up this like style video, just like prop up the camera, and more like just a spiel, because this has like a very, deeper connection to me and maybe to you, to some people that can relate to this at home, certain aspects, the whole thing, whatever. So yeah, this is just this is just a straight to the point kind of video, nothing crazy. So yeah, first layer of everything here is Ronda Rousey versus Gina was, in itself, two great fighters that are long out of the prime of their career, going through trials and tribulations of their own respective lives, what their last like decade or decade and a half, for how long Gina's been out. They've both been out for a pretty long time. And Gina's a bit older. I think she's like 42, 43, and I think Ronda's 37. And two great women that have been through a lot of adversity in their own prime, getting to their prime, everything like that, and having to prove themselves in the sense to, whether it be the men, whether it be the fans, whether it be, whoever. And so, both coming from background of adversity, obviously Gina being the first, and then Ronda being like, the giant driver to, the worldwide women, the worldwide women MMA spectacle stuff. And obviously, Ronda couldn't have done it without Gina, but they have, obviously propelled women's MMA, women's fighting in general, put on the map for people to really take it seriously. I actually really want to single in on Gina specifically for this video. All love to Ronda. Ronda is sick. Ronda Clear Point is just such a badass, So all love to her. I really want to talk about Gina because there's just something very specific, and this may be just like very niche, but this is something that really sticks out to me, from my background and things I've been through. For those of y'all that don't know, I got blown up by a tire about it's January 2024 is when that happened. Now we're 2026 May. So what, 25, 26, 2.5 years since then. I tore my wrist, TFCC tear, and I have some damage to kind of show there. You can't really see it too much. I'll do a whole like I filmed a whole video talking about my entire past, everything that happened, the surgery, the process, my life, my really bad struggles that I've been dealing with personally, that I'll go more in depth with on like a video, on that video that I'll be releasing soon. I'm finishing up editing that. I've been very behind. with my content. So thank y'all for sticking with me through all this. But Gina, with her, dude, you know, I'm gonna just say it's very cut blank. She dropped 100 pounds, was going through her depression, going through, you know, her trials and tribulations, her adversity, her current day adversity after all the women's MMA stuff and everything like that she dealt with before. Gained 100 pounds, got pre-diabetic, you know, was going through all that stuff. And that is exactly, in a sense, like something I can relate to. Gaining, you know, damn near 100 pounds, getting pre-diabetic, and going through my, like, you know, depression episodes, like my depression, what feels like a depression series this past, like, since my injury, and even a bit before, but really this past like 2 years have done a toll on me. And now, before I even start getting into more stuff like that, I'm really saying this because, you know, I don't care what a lot of gurus and stuff online stuff like people say or anything like that. Where I stand is, you know, obviously depression is most definitely a real thing. Depression, you know, and mental health is, you know, very important. Especially, you know, I'm saying this as a, you know, retired fighter. Boxing, specifically for me, and fighting in general, is physical chess. It is not just going in there and just throwing, doing whatever you want. It is mind and matter in there, dude. It is, you know, peak focus, mental duration, how long can you stay focused, brain fog, stress. You know, you're under, you know, constant stress, constant raised cortisol, and training is learning how to stay focused and maintaining yourself, your breath work, everything like that in that environment. So yes, you know, when you're playing chess, it's straight focus the whole time, calculating your opponent's next move. And in boxing, you're doing the same thing, and it's straight focus. So that's why I say, you know, mental health is very important. You know, making sure your brain is running efficiently, running effectively, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, giving yourself the best way of training, taking care of yourself, recovery, you know, and, you know, as there's been more research on supplementation, creatine, you know, stuff like, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I don't care what anybody says, dude, that is, mental health is very important to make sure you maintain. To spin back around and with that, Gina dealing with these setbacks, the depression, the weight gain, almost like going through having that imposter syndrome, feeling the disconnect, almost like trying to reclaim yourself and your truth. And when you've dealt with a lot of stuff like that, and something very specific, like the exact same, the weight gain, the identity loss, the, you know, setbacks, you see it differently. And that's just how it is. Like, I heard that and immediately was like, damn, you know, I already got respect for all the fighters, everyone that gets in the cage, everyone that gets in the ring, everyone that gets in the octagon, now I guess for MVP MMA, the hexagon. I got respect for everyone that steps in. It's not easy. I've stepped in once, ready to step in again, you know. I'll get more into that later, but it takes so much. The anxiety, you listen to how Mike Tyson talks about, you know, being scared going into the ring. That is the baddest MFer of all time. He wasn't immune. We're not immune. You're not immune. She's not immune. He's not immune. And so it takes balls. That's the most, like, straight up way I can say it. And for me, man, going through my setbacks, going through my injuries, you know, with my back and my wrist, watching the weight gain, watching myself change slowly, And, you know, a lot of the weight gain, that was really fast for me. It shocked my body. And even now, I'm still adjusting to how much I've gained. And I've had this weight on for a good minute by now at this point in the timeline. You know, I've been struggling mentally since my entire life flipped upside down on me. And losing boxing for so long, boxing was practically one of the most important things to me in my life. And without it, you know, I just truly felt like I lost my identity. I lost who I was. I lost what made me me. Because I always say this, God gave me boxing, and boxing changed my life, saved my life. God saved my life giving me boxing. And when I see someone like, you know, Gina, who goes in there, and even if the fight didn't go her way, obviously, but it's more than just the fight itself. It's way more complex than that. There's more depth, you know? It's not just getting in there and fighting. Like, yeah, that's the big part. Obviously, everyone's there to watch the big fight, but what does it represent, you know? And to me, like, all these things that I've had go on, it feels like delusional to keep saying, like, oh, I'm gonna get in there and fight. I'm gonna do it, you know? Like, if you look at me, bro, like, I'm still fat, still chubby. You see this on my face, like, just looking at me, I look inflamed. Like, if I, you know, picture from when I was 17 getting into the ring, dude, is that the same guy? You know, is that the same fighter? Is that the same person? Is that the same Wixp? Is that the same Jason Montes? Is that the same, like, who is that guy? Is how I feel. And so even with everything I have going on and the setbacks I still continue to face, I'm not done pushing. I'm not done trying. You know, sometimes it truly feels impossible. Impossible isn't a permanent state. You know, impossible, the feeling of it, or even the truth of it at all, I don't believe it exists, but even if so, it's not a permanent state of being. You don't have to stay where it's impossible. You make the changes small, little by little, and you will see the fruit of your labor that you bear. I hope I said that right. Sorry, I told you, it's one something in the morning. I set this camera up right now because I have to dump this out because this is important, because I need someone, you know, this may sound like I'm fucking crazy just talking to a screen about, like, all this stuff, like, you can do it, but I really hope somebody who sees this or hears this, listens to this, gets told this, gets spread this. I don't care how. You know, I know I'm a small creator. I know where I stand with everyone, you know, where, you know, the landscape is right now. But I pray to God that this helps somebody, that this helps someone push the wire, push the gas a little bit more, like break the limit just a bit. Because my biggest thing I've always really wanted to do is push my limits and prove to other people, prove to the next generation, prove to anybody that if I can do it, you can do it. You know, if I can break my limits, if I can push myself, if I can have my drive, so can you. If I can accomplish these things, so can you. If I can do these things, so can you. And I refuse to believe that the best part of me is long gone. That's happened already. Yeah, I've had my best so far, but I don't think that's gonna be my best OAT of all time. I refuse to, you know, put that limit on myself. You know what I'm saying? And to everyone that believes in me, everyone that supports me, everyone that maybe just watches what's going on, my haters, my doubters too, you know, love for everybody. I'm not finished. I'm not gonna give up. I don't care how many setbacks come at me. I don't care how I have to change, how I have to adapt. We all got the capability to do it. So what's gonna stop me? I promise I will fight. I promise I will win. I promise I will, not take advantage of all the love and support that genuine people give me and want to see me do good, want to see me do great. And I want to give my love and, my energy to other people as well. It's hard. It's genuinely hard, man. Hearing everything Gina went through is practically like a lot of things I relate to as well in my own ways, And look what she did, dude. Look at her, bro. Look what she's accomplished. It's inspiring. It's awesome. It's, it's truly martial arts. It's what martial arts is about. Pulling you out of that pocket, saving us, dude. Saving souls, saving life. That's why I feel like God has brought martial arts onto, his people. And I always want to stay authentic. I've been in and out with how I treat myself, my health, and I just want you guys to know I'm not done. I'm not quitting. I will box. I am not done with boxing, and I am not done with myself, because no one else is going to give it to me. It's going to only take me. I'm the only one that can accomplish this for myself. So, yeah. This fight was a huge reminder to me that we can lose years, we can lose time, we can go through so many things in the world, but we're always able to do better. That we can always find ourselves, especially us as fighters, we can always find ourselves and do great things, do incredible things. Nothing's holding us back but us. Truly, no one can push us more than us. We are all capable. And like I said, we can all do great things. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank you for hating. Thank you for being there. I promise y'all, again, I'm coming back. And I'll do great things too. And hopefully, we all do great things. So, appreciate y'all.